My girlfriend filed a restraining order, claiming I was emotionally abusive for questioning her spending. I didn't fight it, just closed all the accounts and canceled the lease I was guaranteeing. Her lawyer called 72 hours later, pleading to negotiate. I'm 31, male, and was served a restraining order on a Thursday afternoon at my workplace. The front desk called me down, sounding uneasy. A process server handed me the documents with practiced indifference. My girlfriend, Lila, 28, of 3 years, had filed an emergency protective order alleging emotional and financial abuse. Her proof? Text messages where I asked why she spent $1,800 at a high-end store after claiming she was broke, and an email where I suggested we set a budget. I read it in the lobby. Her claim was that my text, "Hey, didn't you say you couldn't cover your car payment?" after spotting her with new designer boots, was controlling and emotionally manipulative. Her statement was wild. He tracks every purchase I make and grills me about money relentlessly, creating a toxic environment where I fear his reactions. Reality check. She had 4 credit cards in her name that I was paying off. Her apartment lease listed me as guarantor because her credit was terrible. Her car insurance was under my policy. I'd been covering her temporary expenses for 2 years, but apparently asking one question about her spending was abuse. The order demanded I stay 100 yards away, with no direct or indirect contact, effective immediately. I didn't argue, call, or text. I went back to my office, opened my banking apps, and got to work. Within an hour, I'd canceled all 4 credit cards. They were in her name, but I was making the payments, perfectly legal to stop. I removed her as an authorized driver from my insurance. Contacted her apartment complex to withdraw as lease guarantor, 30 days notice required. Stopped the automatic transfers I'd set up for her expenses. Changed my Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, and Paramount Plus passwords. Removed her phone from my family plan, effective next billing cycle. The apartment situation was notable. I wasn't a tenant, just the guarantor. The property manager, Carla, was surprisingly cooperative. If you're stepping down as guarantor, she'll need to qualify independently or find a new guarantor within 30 days. What if she can't? She'll need to move out or face eviction. Perfect. I documented everything, saving confirmations to my personal email. Then I returned to work. Had a client meeting at 3 p.m., crushed it. That evening my phone was silent, unnervingly silent. The restraining order worked both ways. She couldn't contact me either. Update 1. Saturday morning, 8 a.m., my phone rings. Unknown number. It's a lawyer, Daniel Kessler. Mr. Carter, I represent Miss Lila Monroe. There's been a misunderstanding with the protective order. What misunderstanding? The order was clear. No contact. Yes, well, my client has encountered issues. Several of her financial accounts have been closed. I stopped making voluntary payments on her credit cards. Yes, but she depended on those payments. Then she should have considered that before filing a restraining order claiming I was abusive for questioning those payments. Silence. Mr. Carter, surely we can find a solution. My client is open to amending the order to allow financial discussions. No need. I'm fully complying with the order. No contact means no contact, including no financial support. But the lease. I've given proper notice to withdraw as guarantor. That's with the property management, not her. This is retaliatory. This is compliance. She said my financial involvement was abusive. I'm removing myself from the abusive situation. Isn't that what she wanted? He mumbled about bad faith and financial abuse. Daniel, she filed a legal document calling me abusive. I'm honoring her wishes by staying away entirely. Enjoy your weekend, I hung up. 20 minutes later, texts poured in from her friends. I didn't read them, just screenshot them. Violating a restraining order cuts both ways. They were contacting me on her behalf. Update 2. Monday morning brought chaos. First, an email from Daniel. A formal letter demanding I resume financial support during this transition period. My reply was short. Per the restraining order, I cannot have any contact or relationship with Ms. Monroe. Financial support would constitute a relationship. Please advise your client I'm fully complying with the court order. Then came the social media storm, not the typical kind. Lila's best friend Mia posted on Instagram, "When toxic men use money to control women after being called out for abuse, part financial abuse, part narcissistic manipulation." But Mia slipped up. She shared screenshots of Lila's texts to her. "He canceled everything. I can't even watch Hulu. I told you the restraining order would make him notice, but now he won't pay my cards. The lawyer says he's not legally obligated, so he can just stop." This backfired hard. Someone sent me the screenshots. I forwarded them to my lawyer, hired Saturday afternoon. The real fun came Tuesday evening. Carla from the apartment complex called. "Mr. Carter, I'm required to inform you that Miss Monroe hasn't provided alternative qualifications or a new guarantor. She has 23 days left. Please confirm my guarantee ends as scheduled." "It will, but she came in today with her mother." There was an incident. "Oh?" "Her mother, Mrs. Monroe, tried to forge your signature on a guarantee renewal form." I sat up. "Excuse me?" "We have cameras and your signature on file. It was clearly forged. We've referred it to our legal team and local police. Wow." Update 3. Lila's mother, Diane, tried contacting me via LinkedIn, professional platform not covered by the restraining order, apparently. Her message, "James, this is absurd. You and Lila had a minor disagreement and now you're ruining her life. Step up and fix this." I didn't reply, just screenshot it. My lawyer, Robert, different from any past stories, was thrilled. She filed a baseless restraining order. Her own texts prove it. Her mother attempted forgery. They're harassing you through third parties. We could countersue. Let's hold off. I want to see where this goes. Wednesday brought more escalation. Lila's car was repossessed. Not my doing. She hadn't made a payment in 4 months. She'd been using my money for car payments on other purchases. Without my transfers, she couldn't even make a partial payment to halt the repossession. Mia posted about it. Now he's taking her car. This is abuse. A commenter pointed out, if he's taking her car, doesn't that mean he was paying for it? How is stopping payment on someone else's car abuse? Mia deleted the post. Thursday, Lila's credit cards started declining. She'd maxed them out in 3 days of panic shopping, assuming I'd cave and pay them off like always. Daniel called again. "Mr. Carter, my client is willing to drop the restraining order." "I don't consent to that." "What?" "The order protects her, right?" "I don't want her to feel unsafe. It should stay in place." "But you could agree to mutual dissolution." "Nah, I'm good." "I've adjusted to comply with the order. No need to change now. She'll be evicted." "That's unfortunate, but I can't be involved in her housing." That would violate the order he hung up on me. Update 4. The forgery charge became official. Diane Monroe was arrested at her Pilates class. Per the police report, public record, she'd tried forging my signature on multiple documents, not just the lease guarantee. She also attempted to add herself to my car insurance as Lila's guardian, Lila's 28, and tried opening a credit card in my name. That last one upgraded the charges to identity theft. Lila claimed she knew nothing of her mother's actions, but subpoenaed texts showed otherwise. "Mom, just sign it. He won't notice. His signature's simple. I've seen it tons of times. If you do the insurance, I can get my car back." Daniel withdrew as her lawyer. Being linked to identity theft discussions crossed an ethical line. Her new lawyer, some sketchy guy named Tom, sent a demand letter for emergency support, citing dire circumstances. Robert's response was gold. Our client notes that requesting financial support from someone Ms. Monroe claims is abusive would endanger her. We cannot in good faith facilitate such a risky situation. Meanwhile, I was thriving. Started a baking class with the money I wasn't spending on Lila. Posted a few Instagram pics. Nothing petty, just me making sourdough. Lila's friend Sophie messaged me. "You're letting her be homeless over a dumb fight?" I replied, "I'm respecting her need for protection from my alleged abuse. Would you rather I violate a restraining order?" She blocked me. Update 5. Things got bizarre and hilarious. Lila launched a crowdfunding campaign. Help a DV survivor escape financial abuse. Her story was gripping. Evil ex-boyfriend cut her off after she stood up to his abuse, needing funds for housing, a car, and essentials. She raised $73 in 3 days. Then someone, not me, posted her social media history in the comments. Designer purses, lavish dinners, spa weekends, all from the past year with captions like, "Grateful for a man who treats me right," and "When he surprises you with Gucci." The campaign was shut down for fraud. The best part? Her dad, Richard Monroe, divorced from Diane for a decade, contacted me. "James, it's Richard, Lila's father. I heard about the situation. Mr. Monroe, I can't discuss." "I'm not calling about that. I'm apologizing. I know my daughter. I went through this with her mother. The restraining order, false accusations, financial manipulation. It's like deja vu. Diane had pulled the same stunts during their divorce. False abuse claims, trying to get him arrested, forging his signature on loans. You're doing the right thing. Don't give in. They'll escalate until they see you won't budge, then move on to the next target." He was right about the escalation. Update 6. Eviction day was nearing. Lila was desperate and did something unexpected. She called my mother. My mom, Maria, is a gem but takes no nonsense. Per her, the conversation went, "Lila, Mrs. Carter, James won't talk to me. Because you have a restraining order against him. It was a misunderstanding. You filed legal documents saying my son's abusive. I didn't mean it. Then you lied under oath. I know. He was being controlling by paying all your bills?" Lila hung up. My mom called me laughing. "That girl's something else. You dodged a missile, mijo." But Lila kept going. Day 24, she showed up at my office. Security stopped her at the entrance. I'd warned them about the restraining order. She caused a scene, sobbing about how I was ruining her life and just wanted to talk. Security called the police. She was arrested for violating her own restraining order. The irony, she spent a night in jail. Diane bailed her out and promptly held a press conference. Seriously, outside the courthouse. 3 reporters showed up, likely expecting a slow news day. Diane ranted about financial abuse in relationships and men using money to control women. A reporter asked, "Ma'am, aren't you under indictment for identity theft and forgery?" "That's irrelevant. You allegedly forged this man's signature to steal money. How's that different from financial abuse?" "I was protecting my daughter by committing fraud." The press conference ended fast. The footage didn't air but was posted online, going mildly viral in legal circles as "how not to handle PR during a criminal case." Carla called with an update. "Miss, Monroe was formally evicted this morning. She has 48 hours to vacate." "Did she find new housing?" "She applied to several places. All rejected her after credit and background checks." The arrest didn't help. I felt a brief pang of sympathy, then recalled her restraining order accusations, and it faded. Final update. The conclusion was almost underwhelming. Lila moved in with Diane, who's out on bail, in a cramped 1-bedroom apartment in a rough neighborhood, a big step down from the upscale place I'd guaranteed. The restraining order remains active. Lila tried to have it dismissed, but the judge, noting her violation, kept it in place for both parties' protection. Tom, her new lawyer, made a final plea. "Mr. Carter, Miss Monroe will sign a document admitting the abuse claims were exaggerated if you provide 6 months of financial support for her rehabilitation." "Rehabilitation from what?" "Financial adjustment distress." "You made that up." "She's suffering from consequences. This is cruel. This is accountability." He gave up. I ran into Mia at a grocery store. She tried to dodge into the produce aisle, but we locked eyes. "How's Lila?" I asked, genuinely curious. Mia looked uneasy. She's working retail, living with her mom. Good for her. She really cared about you. She got scared when you questioned her spending, scared enough to file false abuse claims? That was Diane's idea. She said it'd make you see how serious Lila was about needing space. Space for my questions, not my money. Mia cringed. Yeah, it sounds bad when you say it like that. How else would you say it? She had no answer. Later, I heard through mutual friends that Diane pleaded guilty to forgery, getting probation and community service. Lila's credit score tanked to 420. She's working at a retail store, living with Diane, and dating a new guy she's already asking for financial help. The restraining order lasts another 9 months. Richard contacted me again. Heard you stood firm. Good job. She's already on to the next guy, Greg or something. Poor guy doesn't know what's coming. As for me, I took the $3,500 a month I was spending on Lila and boosted my retirement savings, started a solid investment portfolio, took that baking class, bought a high-end coffee maker, still had cash left. The restraining order is my favorite ironic keepsake. She filed it to manipulate me into compliance, but it gave me the perfect reason to cut her off entirely. No guilt, no arguments, no slow fade. Just an instant, court-ordered break. Her own tactic became my liberation. To anyone in a similar spot, when someone reveals their true self, especially through legal documents, believe them. Don't try to shield them from consequences. Don't feel bad for protecting yourself. If someone threatens a restraining order to control you, call their bluff. Comply fully, completely, totally. They want distance? Give them the whole galaxy. Sometimes the best way to counter manipulation isn't fighting. It's enthusiastic compliance that exposes their real motives. Lila wanted me gone, but my money to stay. The restraining order made that legally impossible. She outplayed herself with paperwork. Cool, cool. P.S. To the 3 people who messaged saying I was abusive for cutting her off, she filed legal documents claiming my financial support was abuse. I agreed and stopped it. If that's abuse, I'm confused about what she wanted. P.S. Yes, it's all legal. No, stopping voluntary payments isn't against the law. No, refusing to be someone's bank isn't abuse. Deal with it.